Good evening, friends. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are first time here, just welcome. Thanks for clicking on the video. And for those of you that have been here a long time, thanks for coming back. My name's Chris. I run Dark Blue Charters here in Manistee, Michigan. And last year I put out a must-have spoon video, and I've decided to do that again. There are some new spoons out this year. A lot of the things that you're going to see on this video, I'm sure you likely saw in last year's video as well, but it's always good to go back over things. But let's get right into this. So I am on the TangleTackleCompany.com website, right up here at the top, TangleTackleCompany.com. This is the home page. One thing I will mention here is if you have not, come down here to the email section, pop your email in there, and you'll get notifications on sales and promotions and a whole bunch of other things that we do. It doesn't cost a thing, and we do not sell information. And then there's a little bit of information down below that, some of the hot boards from last year that I'll continue these on to this year. And we do the weekly fishing report, video tips, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But anyway, let's get right into this. We'll go over here to the menu, down here to the lures section, click the plus, trolling spoons, and we'll start off with Dreamweaver because I love Dreamweaver. And I don't have a list in front of me. I'm just going to go right through this. I'm going to talk about some of the spoons that I absolutely love. I may skip some of the ones that you absolutely love, but that's fine. If it works for you, that's wonderful. But I might give a little background also on when I might use a certain spoon or whatnot. But here we are, page number 1. And as I look right across this top row right here, these are every one of these 5 are absolute must-haves. The Wonder Bread, the NBK, the Blue Dolphin, that thing in the springtime. This thing right here is an absolute king killer in the springtime and in the fall as well. Really any time of the year. The Buffalo Bill right here. This is another absolute killer in the springtime for lake trout, steelhead, and kings. And then the SUV, or I'm sorry, the UV NBK is another great spoon. We'll drop down. Jaeger Bomb, great one for steelheads. The Green Jeans right here is another must-have in the box. That thing can go any time. That's a great fall spoon right there. I run the heck out of that thing later in the year. But this one right here, this is the Dreamweaver. So if you haven't watched my spoon videos, you might not know what I'm talking about here. But essentially, spoons come in 3 sizes. And you have the super slim, which is the smallest. Some people call that standard or mini or regular. Then you have something in the standard size or the medium size, like the DW here. And then you have a mag. And this one's in the DW, but this spoon right here, really any time of the year, I really like it in the super slim. The Glow Frog white belly with the white back. And you notice that I'm pointing at the white back. It's because if this thing doesn't have the white back, it does not go out into my spread. But this spoon, that Glow Frog white belly has been my top spoon for the past several years. So it is an absolute must-have. Blue Dolphin Glow, another great spoon any time of the year, especially in the spring. This A-Bomb last year was a killer for me in late July and into the middle of August. This thing on a 10 color last year was lights out good. So definite must have. Rasta Goose, this thing has its days. It doesn't go every day, but it can get. What's nice about that Rasta Goose, it's not only a king spoon, but you can get some good steelhead on that as well. It's a great highline spoon, like a 4 color or a 5 color, even higher than that. Mixed Veggie, absolute staple. Two Face, absolute staple. Green Dolphin, absolute staple. The PK Special is a spoon that somebody turned me on to the spoon several years ago, and I'm glad they did. I do run that thing from time to time, but if it's not going, I pull it off pretty quick, but it will take nice fish. Steely Cane, great Steely spoon. Lemon Ice, this one this is in the, I'm not getting the big picture, but I do like this one on high lines early in the morning. It will take kings and steelhead. Beefeater is a great one in the UV or the standard. This one was new last year. This took a lot of nice fish for us. A lot of lead core bites on that one. 7 colors, 8 colors, and 10 colors on that one. And we did get a few 13 color bites on that one also. It's a darker spoon. It's not bad to run down deep. Magic Man, you got to have this thing if you're offshore fishing. This one has the gold blank, so you can see the spoon behind the the tape is gold. There's a silver version also with a gold back. I'm sorry, with the gold orange back. That thing offshore is a killer. So let's move on here. Next page. Boy, that's just page one, and that was a bunch already. Spotted Magic Man. Spoons with spots. If you have spoons with spots, there's days that those things absolutely go nuts. So that's the Spotted Magic Man, same version of the Magic Man, just with spots. Caramel Dolphin's an old favorite. I haven't run that in a few years, though, actually. I don't know why. It does catch fish, but yeah, I just, thinking about it now, I have not run that in a few years. The Green-Eyed Ghost right there, that's another one that I'll run on occasion. It's not one of my absolute go-tos. The Silver Belly Frog right there also doesn't have that white belly. So I don't run that one very often. I don't run that holographic Blue Dolphin very often either. And I don't know why. I guess it's just because I have such good luck on the regular Blue Dolphins. I don't run that one out much. Frosted Veggie, that's a good one. I'm just going to read across the list here from left to right, so I don't. If I put my cursor over it, it blocks the spoon. But that SG Superbred right there, that thing is really good on certain days, especially early in the morning, with that thing glowing down there, and you can leave that thing out there as the sun comes up, which is really nice. The holographic Blue Dolphin, we talked about that. There's the Buffalo Bill again. The Rasta Goose Gold. This thing last year for several weeks was on fire for me on every conceivable presentation. 5 colors, 4 colors, 10 colors, 300 coppers, 200 coppers, 150 coppers, and everything else in between, downriggers, you name it. That thing for several weeks was just banging for me. So that is an absolute must-have in the box. Greasy Chicken Wing, I really like this one later in the year, especially fishing around the stained waters of the pier heads. That thing has just a unique look to it. Mixed Veggie, that thing's been around for a long, long time. You got to have that in the box. That'll take kings for you, steelhead, anything in between. Anything. If there's bluegill around there, I'll probably jump on that thing. This one I jumped on last year. I think this one was also new last year. I had some success on it. I didn't have a huge sample size of it because it was like I said, it was pretty new, but I did like the way that thing looked in the water, and apparently the fish did too because they did jump on it. Let's move on. We got like so many spoons to go through, so I'm going to blow through quite a few. Pink Panties. That thing on a certain day will absolutely go for you. On a 300 copper one day, that Pink Panties was unbeatable. And then there are other days that thing will just not do anything for me. But I think it's one you should have around just because there are days it's going to work. Jawbreaker for steelhead. That thing's fantastic. The Fireball for steelhead. This thing is a staple for me on a 5 color or a 4 color or a 3 color. If I know steelhead are in the area, you got to have that one out there. I'll give this one a quick look because this is that blue-green spotted dolphin, and again, sometimes the spots really work, especially on a proven spoon like a blue or a green dolphin. That's a great one. And I'm going to blow through Watermelon. I mean, that thing's been around for a long, long time. Also, you should have that in the box. And we're going to get doubles now because it's going to show like there's the mag of the Superbred. You're going to see doubles here from time to time, so we can blow through a little faster. And anytime you can go back, of course, rewind the video and take a look again or listen again to whatever you want to. This one right here, a customer turned me on to this last year. And he said he always had that on the boat, and he runs it all the time, and he gave me a couple of them. And lo and behold, they caught fish. So that has actually become one of my recent favorite spoons. I like that one. There's the Green Jeans again. The Scurvy Dog. That's another one of those, it has its days, and it's good to have it in the box because if your buddy calls you and says, hey, we're catching them on the WV Scurvy Dog, and you don't have it, you're probably going to cry. So not a bad one to have around if you think you're going to need it. All right, so that Captain Gary right here, this thing can be a really, really good spoon. This is just a really, really good spoon any day, in and out, you name it. This thing can take a lot of fish for you. A definite one you want to have in the box. And Bloody Nose, that's the one you should have in the box as well. I run that one all the time, especially that one and the Moonshine version. Both of them are excellent. Moving on, and again, we're going to see a lot of these doubles now. Some of the ones we've already covered, so we can blow through here a little bit. I'm perusing as I talk. Starburst, Another great steelhead all-around spoon. Also good highline spoon on your shorter coppers and cores. And you're going to see a lot of these are sold out right now, but I'm going to tell you right now that Tangle Tackle just got a huge spoon order, and a lot of these, if not most of these, are going to be back in stock real quick. So just wanted to point that out. Rodfather, that thing is brand new from Dreamweaver this year, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've never run it, but I'm looking forward to it. It's got that alewife look to it. There's other spoons that are similar to that, but that one has a gold blank also, which is something I do like. A couple ones to point out here, the Starburst and the Double Orange Crush, which is probably the must-have steelhead spoon, but these are both in gold blanks. If you don't have these spoons in the gold blanks, you should get them. These can be excellent spoons. There's days I can't buy a bite on the standard Double Orange Crush, but I throw that gold one out there, and she is on fire. So definitely ones to have in the box. All right, moving on here. Next page. Jaegerbomb we talked about. That's a great one to have. Mixed veggie we talked about. The Monkey Puke. Another one that I used to run all the time. I don't run much anymore. And the only reason I don't is because I tend to forget about it. And it is still a really good spoon. So I have a lot of spoons like that, I'm sure. But I should get that back out in the spread a little more often. It's a good spoon. All right. And looking through as I scroll. Craig Steelhead, that's a good steelhead bait for sure. Green Dolphin we talked about, but that's another great one to have in the box. The Sportsman Special, that's one I've run in the past, had limited success on it. But I've talked to other people that have had overall good success on it. It's just that I have not. I'm just being honest with everybody. Some of these do not have pictures, so it makes it a little difficult, but that's fine. Riverside, this is an excellent steely spoon. Mixed veggie again. The Rodman with dots. The Bumblebee. This thing is just an overall really good spoon. Steelhead Kings, Lakers, you name it. That thing will take fish for you. That's just a really good spoon. The Watermelon again. Here's the Double Orange Crush. That thing is, like I said, the staple of all steelhead fishermen for sure. Blue Jeans, we talked about the green jeans. I have to talk about the blue jeans also. That thing later in the year, really any time of the year, but that thing later in the year I always have out there. One version or another of that thing. Working through, there's the PK Special again. I talked about that. Steely Stomper can have its day, of course, for steelhead. And we're getting now into some of the more smaller spoons for walleye and whatnot. And there's days I run those actually on sliders, which is pretty interesting. Anyway, so that's my Dreamweaver. Let's jump back into lures and trolling spoons. I'm going to look at some Moonshine now, and we'll go through this pretty quick, but boy, there's some Moonshines I absolutely love. So I want to make sure I get these. That Agent Orange right there for steelhead in the morning. So good. Watermelon, or that's the Atomic Melon, also really good. I like having that thing out all the time. The Bad Toad right here, especially in the RV pattern. But what I mean by RV, if it's standard Moonshine, it doesn't have any tape on it. If it's RV, it has a UV reflective tape on it. Really like that. But that Bad Toad, standard and RV, and that Half Moon Toad, they call it the Bad Toad Half Moon. Both those right there are super good. Stupid super good. So, love them. Oh, moving on. The Blue Jeans. Everybody has probably 10 of these in the boat because they catch fish. Another must-have. The Blue Hulk, I'll give that one a little bit of credit right there. I've caught fish on it. I don't run it all the time, but I do like it. The Blue Knight right here is another one that will catch fish for me quite often, actually. I just don't run it as often as I run the Blue Jeans. Scrolling down, I've had people tell me this Blue Smolt is good, but I've never run it myself. All right, the Carbon 14. This thing on longer coppers and cords for me is almost always catching fish. I shouldn't say that's a misnomer, but it catches a lot of fish for me. That's an excellent spoon. The cyclonite can definitely have its days as well. The flounder pounder, the standard flounder. I mean, this thing has been around for a while now, and it is a fantastic spoon. Anyone charter captain would not run that thing because he called it ugly, and I ran it almost all the time when I first made it for him. And after about 2 weeks of watching me catch fish on it, he decided it wasn't so ugly, so he changed over to it. There's the green jeans. This thing in the Magnum and the Standard is an absolute must-have. Taken so many fish over the years. This one I'll give a little shout out, this Double Trouble, because it's a great glow, but there's no paint, no tape on it. This is the one I really like to doctor when I get going with my Sharpies or my paint or whatnot. That's my favorite one that I can really put a personal touch to. The Green Knight, gotta have that one. That thing right there is a fantastic spoon in the RV and the Standard. And then you'll notice that some of these, like the Green Knights and the Green Jeans, Blue Jeans and whatnot, they have like a half moon counterpart from Moonshine. And you'll see that that thing is not the same as the Blue Jeans. It's missing half the tape. But that thing, they call these the Half Moon series. Really, really good series. That's the Half Moon Blue Slice. That is an excellent spoon right there. I'm sure you heard about me talk about that spoon in other videos. This Half Loaf, which is just a Wonder Bread spoon cut right in half. This thing I absolutely fell in love with. Excuse me. Moving on. And again, I'm sure I'm skipping. You're looking at this and you're probably going, oh, that's my spoon. How can he be skipping that spoon? And I'm sorry. You might have different success than me on some of your spoons and vice versa, but that's fine. This JJ McMuffin is another one of those that it can definitely have its day. I don't run it often, but when I do, I'm usually about 50-50 on it. It's one of those where if I throw it out there and it doesn't have success pretty quickly, I'm taking it off. But there's days when it has success pretty quickly and all day long. So I'll definitely call that a must-have. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Everybody knows this spoon because of the state record that came on it last year here in Michigan, the Raspberry Carbon. This is another must-have. Funny, after the state record was caught last year, I didn't run this thing for whatever reason for 2 weeks. I just didn't want to. And then after 2 weeks, I said, no, I'm being an idiot. I put it back out, and lo and behold, it started taking fish almost immediately. So that thing on a 300 copper is one of my favorite. On a downrigger early in the morning, but 300 coppers on plus. That's about my favorite presentations for that Raspberry Carbon. It'll catch fish on other ones as well, but I really find it shine right there. Ratchet Jaw, like that one quite a lot. Next page. Excuse me. The Sandburr, something I got a hold of in the last couple of years and have really liked the way it produces, especially early in the morning on a downrigger. Really like that spoon. Fallen in love with it recently. And Wonder Bread, you gotta have Wonder Bread. Yeah, enough said on that. You got to. If you don't have Wonder Bread, you need it. Jackal, this thing early in the morning on a downrigger. I have some of these on the boat that are twisted into almost unusable shapes from so many kings hitting them over the years. Love that spoon. Breadwinner, that one I've not run very much. That might be new for them, but it does look interesting to me. This Bloody Nose in the RV and in the regular glow. Really, downriggers in the morning, 150 coppers up to like 225 coppers. That thing really seems to rip. I'm sure it'll work on other. There's the RV version of the Glow Bloody Nose, but I'm sure it works on other presentations as well. But for some reason on my boat, like 150 coppers to 200s, 225s, 250s, it seems to really shine right there. There's the RV version of the Bad Toad. We talked about that earlier. You can see some of the spoons now that we've already spoken about. Now they have them in the RV version, so you can see the difference, like that Blue Knight we already talked about. But in the RV, it definitely takes on a brand new look to it. And that's kind of what we're getting into here, more of the RVs. Okay, this one here, if you watched any of my videos last year on my charter setups, and I'll put those videos out when I'm out, when I have charters the next day. I'll go out and actually set up my spread the night before, and I'll videotape that, and it seemed, people seem to really like that. Yeah, I enjoy making those. But this thing right here, if you watched any of those videos, you saw those dancing anchovies were just tore up. The tape on them was tore up. They were bent in every which way. I really had a lot of success with that spoon over the last few years. So that is a definite must-have in the box, in my opinion. Moving on. And we can kind of blow through some of these now because we've talked about them. We're just looking at them now in the RV. There's the Jackal in the RV. And it's a good idea, really, to have both. The regular and the RV. Because there are days that are going to want one or the other. Okay. There's the dancing anchovy again in the RV. And the dancing anchovy, I prefer that one in the RV. I really, really prefer it. Mongolian beef is just like the dancing anchovy. The dancing anchovy is blue, and the Mongolian beef is green. And that's another must have, that Mongolian beef. Excuse me. Sandbur in the RV is another one you should have in both. Wonder Bread in both, definitely. The Crab Face in both, definitely. The Agent Orange in both. And by both, I'm saying RV and standard, definitely. And ripping through a little faster here. The Oscar. I've had good success on this thing early in the morning, just before daybreak, and just shortly after daybreak. I've had good success with that spoon on downriggers. All right. Page 11. Cyclonite. That's another one we talked about already. Have that one in the standard and the mag size. Okay. That's the Half Moon series of that Bloody Nose. That's another one I really like. Haven't run it much. I don't know if that's... I gotta think if I've ever run it. It might be brand new, but I do really like the look of that thing. Yeah, we're missing some photos here on some of these, but that's okay. That Mean Jeans, it looks a lot like the A-Bomb, the Dreamweaver A-Bomb that I had such good success with. So that one's going to become more prevalent in my spread this year. The original Moonshine right here, picture is terrible, but that thing right there is a must-have. That glows a different color. That looks just like the Jackal spoon, but they glow different colors. That's why they're different. You should have both. Excuse me. All right, last page on the Moonshine. That Shelly snack can be really, really good as well. I'd recommend having a few of those in the box. All right, it feels like I missed a few there, but that's fine. We'll go back in and look at some other spoons from other manufacturers. Wolverine, I don't run a lot of streaks anymore. There's some really, really good ones. You can go through here yourself and you'll actually see a lot of the similar colors, to the Dreamweaver, the Moonshines. Similar name, I mean, exact names, Blue Dolphin. But this Blue Chili Willy, I wanted to show this one. I've had really good success with the Blue Chili Willy over the years. And of course, it's sold out. Hopefully, we'll restock that. But that is a great, great spoon. But I'd like you can go through these silver streaks on your own, and you can see a lot of the similar colors here. And mix and match, pick out some of the ones that you might really want to try out. That Super Screw, that thing's been around for a while. I like that bait. It is ugly, in my opinion, to look at, but the fish love it. Love it. There's the pink panties again. Excuse me. Oh, but yeah, let's go back. There's one more manufacturer I wanted to show everyone. Whoops, wrong thing here. The Pro Kings. There's a couple in here I wanted to point out that can be absolutely fantastic. There's the Fireball. Again, you're going to see a lot of exact spoons or similar spoons. The Wonder Bread, of course. The Pro Pearl's one of them. That's a great spoon. The Blue Barracuda, a great spoon. Excuse me. There's a couple, though, in particular that I wanted to point out here. I think everybody should have in the box. The Magic Man, that's a good one. Excuse me. The Bumblebee again, good one. Oh, where are they? The ones I am looking for. Might be all the way back here. Charlie Special, there's one of them. That right there, everybody should have a few in the box. I really like that spoon. The Captain Buell is another one. Really like that spoon also. And then there's one more, that one right there, the Bluebird. That thing, I started using that maybe 2 years ago, maybe a little longer, I'm not sure, maybe 2 years ago. And I fell in love with this thing. This thing will put fish for on bright sunny days. That thing absolutely smokes them. And fantastic spoon. All right. There we go. Guys, gals, that's it really. That is your must-have spoons for 2022. Again, you probably saw a lot on here that you saw from last year, but it's always good to go back over and look at some things. Look at that ugly guy. Who the heck is that? Get rid of that. How do we change? Hey, all right, sorry. Some of my videos are on here as well. We have this whole section on here. If you ever want to go here, a whole section of videos that I've done for tips and tricks. You're welcome to check those out as well. A lot of stuff to help you out. But TangleTackleCompany.com, that'll get you started. Hopefully everybody has a great season. And if you got any questions, you can always put them down below. All right, we'll see you in the next one.